Covenant at Sinai. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and now I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. The crossing of the Red Sea was a milestone for Israel. The second milestone was the proclamation of the law through the mouth of Elohim himself. At that moment, Israel was born as a holy nation. It received the rules that would govern its existence. But they were more than just religious, civil, or health laws. The Ten Commandments, the foundation of all these laws, are a reflection of Elohim's very character, and therefore do not apply only to Israel, but to every one of Elohim's children. The delivery of the law, the receiver of the law, the lawgiver, the Ten Commandments. The meaning of the law as a promise, the law as an end. The delivery of the law, the receivers of the law. You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Why had Elohim brought Israel out of Egypt? To serve him. In doing so, they would receive great benefits, among them the land of Canaan. In the third month after their departure from Egypt, they camped near Mount Sinai. There the foundation for the creation of the nation of Israel was laid. Elohim proposed a covenant with them. They accepted. By accepting the covenant, what would Israel become? Holy people. They would dedicate themselves to Elohim and reveal his character. Kingdom of priests. They would connect other people with Elohim and teach them his laws. A special treasure from Elohim. Elohim would make Israel a channel to enlighten the world with knowledge about him. The lawgiver. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled violently. The presentation of Elohim's law at Sinai was something superb and terrifying. No one is prepared for something like that. Therefore, the people needed to purify themselves in advance and maintain the appropriate distance so as not to be consumed by divine glory. Why was such a staging necessary? The words Elohim was about to address to them were a manifestation of his own character. To obey them is life, to disobey them is death. Israel needed to be fully aware of the seriousness and significance of the words of the covenant, the Ten Commandments. Two versions of this law have been recorded, one at the beginning of the Exodus and another as part of Moses' final speeches before entering Canaan. Although it may seem frightening in its presentation, the law reflects the best of Elohim's character, love. The Ten Commandments. I am the Lord your Elohim, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Elohim introduces the law by making its primary function clear. I have redeemed you from sin. Therefore, this is what you must do from now on. Observing the law is for us a response to redemption. It is a response of love to the love received. Love is the fulfillment of the law. Love Elohim. Honor and venerate Elohim by giving him first place in our lives. Honor Elohim without replacing him with any idol. Revere Elohim's name, reputation, and character. Honor his day of rest and worship the Sabbath. Love your neighbor. Respect parents. Respect life. Respect marriage. Respect people's property. Respect the reputation of others. Respect ourselves so that no selfish desire stains our character. The meaning of the law. The function of the law. So the law was our guardian until Messiah came that we might be justified by faith. What are some of the functions of the law? It keeps us away from evil, leads us to Messiah. He points out our sin, gives us prosperity, it gives us peace, it gives us freedom, it gives us wisdom. Salvation is not among its functions. The law is like a mirror in which our sins are reflected. Breaking the mirror doesn't remove the stains, ignoring it doesn't either. But without the mirror, the law, we wouldn't know we were stained with sin, that we needed the handkerchief, Messiah, to cleanse us. The Bible is clear. The law is good. Meditating on it is a delight. How I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. The law as a promise. And he declared to you his covenant which he commanded you to do, the 10 words, and wrote them on a tablets of stone. In Hebrew, the three times the 10 commandments are mentioned. They are called the 10 words. Let's think about this. What do we mean when we say to someone, I give you my word? In reality, we're not giving you anything. We're making you a promise. We're assuring you that we are going to do something concrete. As the Hebrew root, dabar, can be translated as word or promise. Example, there has not been filled one word, dabar, of all his good promise, dabar which he promised through his servant Moses. The 10 Commandments are 10 promises Elohim makes to us, intended to guide us on the right path. The law as an end. For Messiah is the end of the law, righteousness to everyone who believes. The word end applied to the law by Paul in Romans 10:4 is telos. What is the meaning of this word? The primary meaning is the point indicated as a limit or purpose. By implication, secondary meanings, the conclusion, the termination, the result, the purpose. Its specific meaning must be determined with the sentence in which it is used. If we translate this as Messiah is the termination of the law, there is no longer any law since Yeshua was dead. Therefore, there is no sin. Paul would be contradicting himself. If we translate Messiah as the point to which the law points, Paul is consistent because the law is still in force and leads us to Messiah. The law was not spoken at this time exclusively for the benefit of the Hebrews. Elohim honored them by making them the guardians and keepers of his law, but it was to be held as a sacred trust for the whole world. The precepts of the Decalogue are adapted to all mankind. They were given for the instruction and government of all. The precepts, brief, comprehensive, and authoritative, cover the duty of man to Elohim and to his fellow men, and all based upon the great fundamental principle of love.